This is a true story I found on Reddit. I've had nightmares before. I've woken up in the middle of the night convinced. I heard someone in my apartment. I've even seen shadows out of the corner of my eye that I couldn't explain. But nothing prepared me for the night. I looked into my bathroom mirror and saw something staring back at me that wasn't me, and nothing prepared me for what happened after. When I went to bed, trembling with fear, and found a man I'd never seen before, sitting silently at the end of my bed until morning came. This is the night that changed me forever. The night I learned mirrors don't always reflect us, and the night I learned sometimes we're not alone when we sleep. It was late. I'd been up too long scrolling on my phone, trying to convince myself I wasn't tired. My apartment was silent. That kind of oppressive quiet that makes you aware of every creak in the floorboards and every hum in the walls. I followed my usual routine. Bathroom light on, toothbrush in hand, nothing unusual. But from the moment I stepped into the bathroom, something felt wrong. The air was heavy, like the atmosphere before a thunderstorm. I told myself it was nothing, just me being paranoid. I wish I'd listened to that feeling. I leaned over the sink, splashed water on my face, and then looked up into the mirror. And my heart stopped, because the face staring back at me wasn't mine. It was wrong, hideous. A hairy, twisted demon face with sunken eyes that seemed to glow faintly from within. Its grin stretched too wide, filled with crooked, jagged teeth that looked like they'd been filed into points. I froze. My reflection wasn't moving the way I was. The thing in the mirror was alive on its own, grinning at me, tilting its head slowly as if studying me. Then it raised a hand, long. It was bony, covered in matted hair, and pressed it against the inside of the glass. And the mirror rippled. Not cracked, not distorted. Rippled. Like water. Like the surface was about to break. The air grew freezing cold. The stench of rot filled the bathroom, burning my throat. My chest locked up. I couldn't breathe, couldn't scream, couldn't move. The thing's eyes met mine, and I swear on everything, it knew me. It wasn't just looking. It was connecting. I stumbled backward, slamming into the doorframe, breaking eye contact. And just like that, the smell was gone. The air warmed. And when I dared to look again, it was just me. Just my reflection. But I knew better. I fled into my bedroom, shaking, slamming the bathroom door behind me, as if a flimsy lock could hold back whatever that was. I sat on the edge of my bed, heart racing, hands trembling. I told myself I'd stay awake until morning. I told myself I'd be fine as long as I didn't look in that mirror again. But fear is exhausting. And at some point, against every instinct, I drifted off. And when I woke, I wasn't alone. At first, I thought I was dreaming. My room was dark, lit only by the pale orange glow of the streetlight outside. Everything looked normal. But then I saw him, sitting at the end of my bed. He was a man, middle-aged, maybe late 40s, wearing clothes that looked outdated. His posture was stiff, hands resting neatly on his knees. He didn't move. He didn't speak. He just sat there, staring at me. His face wasn't monstrous like the demons. In fact, it looked calm, almost kind. But that somehow made it worse. Because no matter how ordinary he seemed, he wasn't supposed to be there. And the longer I looked, the more I realized he wasn't solid. His outline seemed to flicker, like a bad signal. He was there, but not really there. I wanted to scream, but my voice caught in my throat. I wanted to sit up, but my body was heavy, frozen in place. The silence was unbearable. The only sound was my pulse hammering in my ears. And then, I realized something that chilled me more than anything else. He wasn't watching me like a stranger might. He was watching me like a guard, like he was sitting vigil, keeping something away, or keeping me trapped. I couldn't tell which was worse. Time dragged endlessly. Every time my eyelids sagged closed, I'd snap them open again, hoping he'd be gone. But he never left. I'd glance at the clock. Minutes passed like hours. Every time I checked, he was still there. Same posture, same stare. I started to wonder if this was the balance to what I'd seen in the mirror. Demon and guardian. Predator and protector. Two entities arriving in one night for reasons I couldn't begin to understand. But the idea didn't comfort me. It terrified me more. Because if he was protecting me, what exactly was he protecting me from?
Eventually, I slipped into a restless half-sleep. When the first rays of daylight cut through my blinds, I bolted upright, heart racing, breath held, and he was gone. No indentation on the bed, no sound of footsteps leaving. Just me, alone, trembling in the morning light. But I knew what I had seen, and I knew I hadn't imagined either of them. It's been years since that night. I've moved apartments, I've covered mirrors, I've avoided the dark. But it doesn't matter, because sometimes late at night I still feel it. That cold air creeping back into the room, that weight at the end of my bed. And I can't help but wonder, was that man there to save me from the demon? Or was he only there to make sure I never forgot what was waiting for me in the mirror? That was the night I realized the scariest things aren't always what look monstrous. Sometimes the things that look almost human are the ones you should fear the most. So what do you think? Was the man at the end of my bed protecting me, or was he part of something darker? If you've ever had a similar experience, seeing something in a mirror that shouldn't be there, or waking to find a stranger in your room, share it in the comments below. And remember this: the next time you glance in a mirror, the face staring back might not be yours. And when you crawl into bed at night, don't be too sure you're alone. If this true story creeped you out like it did with me, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more true creepy bedtime stories, haunted locations, and unexplained mysteries. Until next time, sleep well.